everybody. Welcome to week number 12 of our Sandy's 13 Frights Before Halloween 2022. I cannot believe we're almost done. This one and one more and we are done. Then I'll do a recap and I'll dig out all of my cards that I made and I'll show you what I did. It's just incredible how many cards I made. Because each tutorial made at least two, one to show you and one to make. So, hey, I got a lot of Halloween cards to send out, so I'm excited about that. So today, what I'm going to show you how to do is something that I've been wanting to learn how to do. And it's been around for a long time, and there's different variations. And I'm going to show you how to do this. So Mixed Up Craft came up with this particular tutorial, and I absolutely love it. And then when I showed my friend Jackie the tutorial and this card that I made, she came up with a great idea, and she saw in her head, she saw pumpkins. So wait till you see. It's good. I think it's gonna be really cute. But what this is a concertina spring card. So I know you guys have seen these. They're really fun to do. So you get them in an envelope. They kind of sort of lay flat, and then they have a little ribbon at the top, and you pull it up and it makes this, and it's just adorable, and it's fun and really a good stash buster. So I wanted to show you how to do that. So it sits on a base. Behind the base is where you put your sentiment. So usually she said white cardstock, so I just used some stickers from the collection, and then that's what I did. So for this particular example, this is Echo Park's Hocus Pocus collection. The cardstock and the mirror paper are Park Lane, and the ribbon I had for my stash. And honestly, it doesn't take very much to put together. It's a little bit fussy just because you have all of these little squares to do, but the effect is absolutely cute. And the way we're going to make it today, it's going to look like a stack of pumpkins. I think it's going to be adorable. So Jackie, thank you for that idea. So let's get started with this. For the tutorial, I am going to use the gorgeous collection Midnight Ride by Country Craft Creations. It came out last year. So I'm also using the artisan cardstock in green, and then the gold paper here, it's kind of more of an orangey gold, which I thought matched with the oranges in the paper. That's by Tim Holtz. And then on the back, if you turn this over, I used a couple of the cut aparts on here, and left the paper white back here so I can write my sentiment on there, but I just had to put these cute little cut aparts on here. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So this is going to be our base. So let's talk about measurements for the base. This is pretty super simple. So the green cardstock, the base is 6 by 6. So then you go in 1/4 inch. So the gold paper on both sides, you'll need 2 of those that are 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then this pattern paper here is 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. So you need 1 green artisan cardstock. You need 2 of the matte, the gold, which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then you need 1 piece pattern paper that's 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. When you turn this over, you still have the same cardstock here. So that's just the one, but then here's your second gold. And then you have 1 piece of white cardstock that you'll need that's 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. And that's where you would write your sentiment. Okay. So that's the base. That's simply the base. That's it. It doesn't open. It doesn't do anything. That's where all of the springy action sits. Okay. So that part is done. Then what we're going to need to do is make these guys. Okay. So these are the little, springy guys that will attach together and then attach to the base, and then we can go ahead and decorate the pieces. Okay, so now I'm going to, because of the way I cut my pattern papers, I am going to decorate this after it's put together, so I make sure that I don't mess up the order of my papers. Now if you do something like this where you've got a strip going up like that, or you do alternating things, then it doesn't much matter. But since I want to keep mine in order, I'm going to wait till I put it all together. So I built 2 of these already because they're really simple to build. All 3 of them are built the same exact way. So I went ahead and did 2 of them already, and then we'll go do the 3rd one together. Okay. So for this, we are going to need a couple of things. So for each of these, and all of this information again is in your description, okay? But you will need for each of these guys, you will need 4 pieces of cardstock that is 6.5 by 2, okay? And then you're going to put it in your scoreboard, and you're going to score all of them the same. You're going to score at half, 2.5, and 4.5. So that should give you a 2-inch square, 2-inch square, 2-inch square, and a half-inch, or yeah, half-inch square, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to attach them together. So let me grab my scissors, and I'm going to miter the half-inch scores, okay, on all of them. All right. Oh, all mitered. Did I do them all? Yeah, I did. Okay. I was just going to keep going. All right. So then, and then go ahead and just fold them. You don't necessarily have to burnish them, because then, you know, you might, you know, it'll stay a little bit more springy, I think. I don't know. So we're going to attach them together. Now, how we're going to attach them is we're going to attach them with a tab underneath, okay? So we're going to take and attach 2 pieces together. So we're just going to put a little glue on that tab, and then we're just going to line that up. I'm going to put it down so I can see it better. Just right at the score and make 2 strips, okay? So do the same thing. Like so, okay? All right, so you have 2 strips, and the tabs are underneath. Okay, so then the actual squares that are attached with tabs, those are the ones you're going to want to hook together. So we're basically going to just stack those on top of each other. These are the 2 pieces that have the tabs that you can see right there, okay? Those 2 are going to get glued together, okay? So far, so good, right? So we're going to just do that. And it'll make kind of an X, okay? And it's okay that there's only 3 on one side and 2 on the other. That doesn't matter in the least, okay? So we have that. All right, that's what we have. So then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to grab doobie-doobie-doo. I'm going to grab, did I grab the right one? Yes. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to put my pumpkin on the top here. Okay, so we do need to cut the pieces. Now, these are 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. So again, a little bit fiddly, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to put that down. And then what I'm going to do is I have extra squares. I'm not sure why I have extra squares. So then you're going to grab your hole punch, and you're going to grab a piece of ribbon. And I'm going to go ahead, let's see, is this, will it reach in there? Nope. I have to grab my other hole punch. My other hole punch is right here. So you need one that's a little longer reach in there, but we're going to go ahead and punch in the center, corner to corner, and then draw an X, and then you can just punch a hole where the X is, okay? That's probably the easiest thing to explain it. Okay, so I'm just making a little mark. We're right in the middle. And then I'm taking my big hole punch here, and I'm going to punch right in the center, okay? That's going to be the hole for the ribbon. And then I have my ribbon that I picked out, and you don't need much. So I'm just going to cut like maybe, I don't know, 4 inches or so. And we're going to stuff it in the hole. And depending on the thickness of your ribbon, you might not need that big of a hole. Okay, you just need enough to create a loop so that you can pull out the, pull up the card. Okay, so just enough for a finger pull. Okay, and then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go ahead and trim some of this. Better to have to trim it than not have enough, right? What did I do with my score tape? Here it is, found it. All right, and I'm just gonna lay some score tape down just to secure this. And then what I'm gonna do is put another piece of the artisan cardstock over top of it just to kind of help secure it. Because wouldn't that be terrible if you went through all this trouble and then they pulled it and then it came up? That would be bad. I wouldn't like that. So I just cut a piece of cardstock to cover that, okay? And it'll be a little lumpy, but it'll help secure. And it's going to be underneath. Nobody's really going to see it anyway, but it will help secure it and kind of finish it, okay? So I'm just being a little fussy, I think, but that's okay. Okay. All right. So that'll just help secure everything underneath there. I'm just gonna try and go around. My ribbon's a little thick, so yeah, it's gonna be a little lumpy, but it'll be a little camouflaged, and I like that better. Okay, so there's that. So there's your top. Okay, so then the next step, and I found this to be a little fiddly, is we're going to want to cover the bottom, if you can see that, inside our pumpkins. Okay, so I have an extra piece of pattern paper cut for that. So let's get this in the right orientation, because this paper does have an orientation. So we're going to have a bottom piece. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and like match this up. Can you see? I'm putting it down so like as if we were going to stick it down, but I'm putting the pattern paper in the right orientation, and then I'm just going to keep it there. So now I know which one to put my pattern paper on. So I'm going to go ahead and cover it now, and then build the rest of it after. Okay, just like so. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and just glue the tab down and form our little thing. Now, these other ones are made exactly the same way, except you don't have to put the pattern paper on the top for the loop. You don't have to punch the hole, okay? So you're just basically, after you make the X, then you're forming your thing. So you will, omit this, okay? Because these don't have that on the top. You only need one of those. And then find your bottom inside, paper it before you start closing it up, okay? And then just close everything around it all, okay? Now I am putting my tabs on the inside so that the bottom, when I close it up, is nice and square, just because I think it might glue better, but who knows? Probably not. It probably doesn't matter, but it's what I wanted to do. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna close this around to this side. Okay, you see our pumpkins forming. All right, and then we'll go ahead and put the other flap down, and then that will form our piece. Now some of these I have seen, I like this technique because it has, like she said, a little more stability. I saw some others and I was just like, I don't know. It's so floppy, you know, because they didn't have like anything in the middle to connect it. Now, some of them have really cool dangles that hang down and all that stuff, but I was like, I don't know. I kind of like the way that this, you know, connects. So then go ahead and squish it. And if you need to, you know, kind of, you know, make it nice. You don't have to go too crazy with it, but there you go. So there's your shape. So then all you do is grab your base. Now here's the cool part, which I thought was also pretty genius. So I've got the pattern papers in here and I'm kind of looking for my direction, and you're gonna just start stacking them. These are 6, when they're flat, are 6 by 6, which match the 6 by 6. So there's no centering. You just have to put it down and glue it in the middle. Okay, so just bottom section here, get your glue, and then you just, I'm just gonna do this, line it up, make sure it's nice and straight, and glue that down. Okay, so there's my first one done. Grab the second one, make sure you got the right orientation for your little pumpkins, and glue in the center only. Okay, and then just lay it down right on the top. Okay, and just stack them. That's all you got to do. Pretty easy. And that's assuming that your cardstock cuts are straight too. So you want to make sure you do that. All right, bottom one here, making sure that our direction is the same. If you're using directional paper, that is the one thing you do have to worry about. Excuse me. And we're going to lay that down right on top of that. And there we go. And voila, you have your shape. Okay, I'm not going to pull on it too much because I want the glue to set. Okay, so there's that. So then you just need all of the papers to cover it, and you need a bunch. So each side has 6 pieces, so you need 24 of these bad boys. They are 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. You can double mat these if you want, but then that means you have 48 squares that you have to deal with. And I was like, I don't think so. I'm not going to mess with that. I thought I would do the double matting for the base and call it really good. So I also, when I cut these, I cut them in strips. So my pattern paper, I cut a strip vertical and cut my 6 squares. And then the next strip, which is number 2, so that if you can see the very first ones, they match. And then if you put number 3 up against there, they match. So as you go around the pumpkin, at least around the front, it's going to match. Of course, when you get to 4 and 1, that's not going to match up too much, but that'll be, you know, like in the back of the thing. So when I'm doing this, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then that way the front here will all kind of be in order. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start layering these on, and I am not going to make you watch that because it is a little time consuming and tedious, and then I will be back and I will show you, but I have my papers in order, and literally it's just gluing on a whole ton of squares. Okay, so I'm going to start over here because it, you know, the orientation of my card. So I'm going to start here with number 1, my stack number 1. Now this will be, again, a lot easier if you are going through your scraps and you're just going to, you know, do kind of a haphazard, miscellaneous, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you want it to be kind of in conjunction with everything, then you're gonna have to worry about it. Okay, and this is where the time-consuming part comes in. And why I wanted to wait, because I wanted my papers in, you know, some sort of order. Okay, all right, so enough yammering. I will be back in a few minutes. All right, so I finished my card, and I just think I mean, even just taking it out of the envelope, it'll look really, really cute. And then when you pick it up, this is what I was talking about. It looks like, you know, a stack of pumpkins, and it's just really cute. And if I pull it up all the way, you can see how the design, the way that I did it, you know, is kind of the same if you look at it from the front, you know, and the sides. So anyway, that's why I wanted to do it like that, but you could do it, you know, any way you want. So that's basically the tutorial. It's really actually pretty simple. You make 3 of these guys and, you know, cover them, and it's just really cute. You will need a box envelope for this, and for this envelope, what did I do? I cut it, let's see, it's 9 3/4 by 9 3/4, and then started the score on my envelope punch board at 4 7/8, and then I used the box score line to make it, and it'll fit just perfectly in there, like so. So you have your nice little, you know, box. So anyway, I really like this. I just think it's really cute. It's a fun, you know, kind of pop-up thing. I think kids would love it. It'd be like kind of a yo-yo or something almost. That's kind of what it reminds me of. But I want to thank Jackie for coming up with a pumpkin theme, because I thought that that was absolutely adorable. And then again, when you turn it over, then that's where your sentiment goes. So that's my card tutorial for Sandy's 13 Frights Before Halloween 2022. One more week to go, guys, and then we're done with this project. I just think this is so much fun, and I'm having a ball learning new techniques and bringing you techniques. And next time I come back, I will be bringing you a card that I have made before. It's my design, and I have revamped it and kind of altered the size a little bit. So we'll see you next week with that tutorial, and then we'll have a roundup of all of the projects after that. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Stay spooky, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.